Oh dear.
Yeah.
I forgot I was recording the other thing.
Oh.
It's fine. I'll do a recap at the end of the thing. I'll just do a whole recap because that's really bad. May have had the whole meeting muted.
Ah.
I forgot I was recording for the Scotsman. Remember that?
Oh, right, yeah.
And I had everything muted. Fun. Let's continue. So times tables is organized between train names and its number, if you have a number. You've got the owner, visit one, and platform. So it goes visit platform. This tells you it's going to this station and it visits this platform. If there's a constant where you see stuff at the same platform and it just doesn't make sense to any of us, and we see, hey, these line up with the same schedule and they could appear at the same time, and they have the same platform, we redo the schedule so it actually makes more sense. So we don't have multiple engines going to the same platform at the same time. And then time spent at a station. That's a big one. This tells everybody who's trying to understand, hey, how long is this train going to be at what station? It tells you, okay, so let's say this. You got the Scotsman. It visits all these different stations. Ellsbridge Central, Valladusburg, PSSR, Moxonrolla Central, and Heritage 1. And it heads back to Ellsbridge. That's the reason. That's why you see Visit 6 should be Ellsbridge, but I've set it up so it's like a loop. You can tell it's a loop because it goes, okay, you can guess what the next station is probably going to be. Ellsbridge. I say that the train stops around 1 hour every visit to a station. So, 1 hour per station. Other locomotives include not Charles and Abby both stop at stations for 5 minutes. I'd count those as an average time, about 5, maybe 15 minutes. It's up to you. I just made it seem like a realistic schedule. You can also do 15 seconds, 20 seconds. It's up to you and how long it stays at a station. I just gave everybody an hour with the Scotsman as it visits some of the big stations. Plant and owned farms has been redone a bit as now I've added a new category. You've got running, which there's 27 farms running right now apparently. Not running, 20. Work in progress, we have 40 farms still incomplete but are underway. And actual farms that are locked, 29. I feel like I have a question on my hand. What the hell? I
Give us
just
stop
looked
trying
back at the
to
screen and I just see you guys killing each other.
Oh, God.
God damn it. Okay, back to the spreadsheets. So I've organized it now so that way you can actually tell, okay, these are the farms that are running and how many there are of that category. I've also started removing a bunch of things. For example, I'm leaving the company name on this spreadsheet for a reason. It tells you, hey, I have this farm, right? And it tells you, okay, there's the company. Now, how many farms do they have? No person. I know humans and people. We all know them. No one. Like I think there may be a few who do it. We'll read and go and decide. Okay, these two companies own it. But if people are trying to figure out what company actually owns something, I've added farms they've had. So this means it's, hey, this is the company, and this is what farms it owns. And this is a big deal because I've removed their name off of every single farm for now, as I'm not sure on what they had, particularly because we're going to redo it anyways. KMRs, because they've gone completely AFK, not AFK, but just completely gone off the server. We've not seen them online for at least over 2 months now. I find that interesting. Whoever wants to, I will be making another talk about this later into the meeting on what we do with KMR. As they've left
Yeah.
their locomotives in the scrapyard, and it will stay there. That actually goes straight to the next thing, the scrapyard. I've heard a lot of you get confused over the scrapyard, thinking your train would actually be scrapped. No, it's not going to be scrapped. Kinda. The kinda. It's just a confusing little puzzle. But give me a second while I get to the message that I sent a while ago. Because I want to make sure when I get this right, I'm saying this right, so I don't just butcher what I said earlier. Okay. The train yard, scrapyard. If a train left on the main line, if there's a train ever left on the main line, it will be brought to the scrapyard. Then, after 1 month of it being in the scrapyard, a day will be picked for the train's auction. If no one picks it, or ever tries to buy out the engine from somebody else during the meeting, well, instead, the train will then be left at the scrapyard again for another about 1 or 2 weeks, right? A couple more days. And the engine will be slightly weathered. The next auction will take place where we'll do the final auction saying, now, who wants this engine? If no one wants it, the engine will be taken over to the smelter's yard, which I think Fritz is working on, and I think there's another one also planned for Yorkston, where engines will be brought there. Now, you have the choice of, before it's scrapped, you make the choice of, do you want to purchase this locomotive while it's still here? If you want the locomotive, you can, and we can make a deal on how much it would cost. But if you don't do it in time, the train will be torn of its bogies, its glue, and controls. The engine will then be completely weathered and put into storage. And it'll be just locked up in, like, think of this, like, if you've seen Thomas and Friends series, there's a point in the series where you actually see them having the locomotive, and you see how they've scrapped it, right? That's what I'm trying to say. And after it's put there, people can come back over and say, may I restore this locomotive? And there'll be a deal then made, and the purchase will be decided. Huh, someone new came just into the Discord server. Nice. That's how the scrapyard works. Right? Makes sense. Your engine's not really scrapped, but it's there. And you can restore it if you want to.
Oh,
Yeah, Blue Jay, what is your question?
in a nutshell, it basically.
Excuse me.
Blue Jay?
Did it? Yeah, I was gonna say, did it out blocks?
Did he just crash just now? Like. My god, such an important question, and the question just completely. Endless no. Oh, hi, Fritz!
Yeah, I was gonna say, Fritz has been here.
This whole time in the meeting, I never even noticed Fritz was here.
I know, Fritz had just arrived.
They just arrived.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that long ago. Good to know.
Oh, he's back.
Okay, everyone sit down. Blue Jay's still connecting on here.
Okay.
Okay, Blue Jay, continue with your question.
Oh, hi, Blue Jay.
What I was going to say was, it basically allows us to come in, and actually restore them, like, not just in a case where you're just buying the engine and. Like,
Yeah, it'll be completely weathered, and you'd have to. You can restore it completely by actually re-adding the colors back in, maybe adding a different block variant, like they actually had used a different paint than the original, right?
That sounds awesome, actually.
So I'm trying to make it so when you guys are actually using your trains, or actually trying to get them and all that, it actually feels realistic, but at the same time Minecrafty.
Hmm.
As I understand, Demon has said this to me multiple times. He comes here to escape from reality. I think that's what most people here actually are for. So I'm just listening to everybody else's opinions. Don't
Also,
question
Nick,
the
you better
painting.
be ready to run after this.
God damn it. Alrighty. That's that part of it. So far, the number of companies that have been on the server, 38.
Wow.
Damn.
Number of active companies, 24.
So about 70 to 60%.
Yeah. Total number of players is 58 that have been on the server. There are 27 active.
Oh.
Yeah, that number dropped, didn't it? So there's more companies, but there's less players.
Yeah.
Here are the inactive companies. Engineering Industry, or Sticks Company. Winchester Line and GMB. These are both companies that were once owned by Agent. Rail is non-existent anymore. Suya RC is also gone. Crystal Rail, Xfinity, KMR, JNR, Leditag, Black Sand Industries, LLNTC, HCLC, and former original Wilford Industries. And yes, I went. Yes, HCLC. The reason why is because Fritz is renaming his company to FLC.
But it still says HCLC on the front spreadsheet where
I
Fritz
have to
is.
change it. I'm still changing things going around. He started using
Okay.
FLC recently.
I haven't changed it, and I haven't also changed it on any of
God damn it!
things.
You kept on saying FLC and FC. God damn it. Okay.
I know.
Drives me nuts. Now I gotta fix that. Thank you.
Yeah, you think I sound sleepy?
Yes, I can tell.
said
It's
I
7 in the
woke up
morning
less
for
than
you.
5 minutes ago.
I know, it's almost 7 o'clock for you. Alright, let's continue. Players that are active on the server. Juwilio 2, IT Moxton, GameTez,
Yay.
Eternal Blade, The Endless Sea, Walter Winfred, Uwu Rail, or Uwu Master, Demon, Chaos Zero, Fearoth, Blue Jay, Yep It's Aiden, Yep It's Devon, Aaron Plays, Sir Duckington, Capro Plays, Tyler Master, Nicholas, Iron Mike Walski, Firefox, or Firecar. No, how am I screwing up that name so well? Foxcar, Min the Nymph, Cookie Cosmet, Wooden Stuff, Wolfo Gaming, Barry, and Fax Machine. And well, that's the active players. Yeah, that's actually funny. Your name's never even there.
Wait, is it on?
And Diamond Ollie 4. Thank you for reminding me. I just added it. Apparently you're not even on the spreadsheet, which really tells me, okay, well, you're added to the system now. Don't worry. You are on the players' side. Like, you're actually on the players' list. I'm looking at the spreadsheet right now. On the company's side. On the company's tab. I started also adding, recently there were a bunch of people who had left the server and they just removed them off of the company and group. Don't. To keep it here, company and group will still show the original companies, right? I'll show every company that's been here, right? Forever. They still exist, they're just now there. You don't rename them, you don't change anything. You just kind of leave its name there, right? The only thing that's changing, though, is you can read inactive companies, and it'll be like, so that company's inactive. I'll also be adding the same color red that's used for the inactive players, but I'll be putting them on the inactive companies on the companies and groups part of the section. So that way when you're on there, it's like, hey, I can tell what company is inactive. It's going to take a while to get every single station planned and all that. Next question. What are any of your questions about the server so far?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Can you advertise your new jet? Well, advertising your new jet. Not during the meeting, no. You cannot advertise it during the meeting. You can advertise it after the meeting or within after hours during non-meeting times. As this thing's a very planned out thing, and we need to be able to get answers through quicker. Because last time, the meeting just went hell at the very end. I think we can agree there that we got distracted halfway down the meeting. Just don't leave the meeting. Any other questions?
Look at this.
No other questions? Good. Signals. They're going well. We're almost
Yay.
done. So far with the signals, we have the northern line finished. The east side of the railway is almost done. We still have got less. Okay, that reminds me. Alice, have you finished signaling your track area, or is that still underway? Oh, jeez, I had my other things. Oh, um, will there be a community yard at spawn? There will be. It's just we need to really think through and plan that out for the community yard. Other things. Are there semaphores? Semaphores on signals. Now, I want to talk to you over on this. You don't have to add semaphores on every single switch. Only certain ones, particularly ones that lead to junctions. If there's ever junctions, you add them. You don't add them on every single signal block. Why? Because it gets too chaotic. Some of the signals that are there are actually useless. Yeah, some of them are actually useless to see, but they're functional because they let the auto trans and they let the system kind of function. But you don't actually need the signals because they actually still function from the further back signals. Because if you look at your yard, the track that you're on right now. Yeah, wait, did you add the signals back? Because I edited your track recently. All of us did. And we actually thought about remove signals and put them back and forth. And we moved a few signals around, and we fixed a few of them. So they've been fixed. We'll also be doing the other semaphores for the rest of the main line as well. The one-way parts? Well, here's the thing is, I've set up the system to where it could do that, except you'd enter through the... Actually, that reminds me. Let me go read through the schedule I've made you, Oliver, and I want you to see how you like this schedule for one of your engines. Actually, both of them. NWR Class S4 by NWR goes to Grimsby, then Validusburg, Royal Moxon Central, Ellsbridge, and then it heads to SBR. Didn't you have a class, okay, you have a class 4, right? S3. I just saw that it said S4 when it was on the spreadsheet constantly. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the NWR class, one of his classes, the first one just above his class D2. Oh, we're talking about how the schedule change works. Do you like that the... Okay, so class S3 will go to Grimsby, your station. Yeah, get the claim map now. Tell me when you get the claim map all ready and you're ready to follow this. Okay. You go to Grimsby, Validusburg, Royal Moxon Central, Ellsbridge Grand Central, which is still the big station, everybody knows it. I just renamed my station. And then after that, you then head to SBR. Then after SBR, you go back to Grimsby, taking the north track. Yeah, the same, because the loop track's finished, right? It's been completely signaled and it's all set up. Okay. NWR Class D2. Grimsby, SMSP, PSSR, or New Doncaster, Cerulean Grand Central, which is SR, then Ellsbridge Central, and then to your station. Back to Grimsby. Now, that station's just a temporary. I'm trying to make it so your engines take the northern loop. Where is Ellsbridge? On the northern main line. As I'm trying to get away, and I'm trying to find a way. I may actually send your... Yeah, it's my station, but I think what I may switch is I'll switch it from Ellsbridge Central to Farquhar. Farquhar is a brand new station that's on my main line, just a bit south of mine, right? It's just next to the small switch track you'll see on the map. That's still sitting there. That never went anywhere. I'm trying to get your engines to use the Northern Loop line. I talked about this last meeting, but I think it was all lost. We're trying to develop circle schedules, or clockwise and counterclockwise schedules, where engines start moving around. And plus, the only way into your base that makes sense is the northern track. Another one of these tracks that I need to talk to about is Nicholas's branch line. If you're ever going to enter the system, Nicholas, you need to enter from the south, heading northward, and then using the other one exiting the north, but entering via the south. Wait, what was that? Can you please go spawn? No. I am only setting... I don't even go to spawn. I have no trains planning to head here. I've only set up the trains that I'm using right now.
No, with your schedules, you're going to have to go via your branch line. You're not using my yard for taking trains. That's not what the artifact is.
What I'm trying to do is... Okay, let me get this straight. If you're going to send your engine over down the main line, and you want to go spawn, you can't. Why? It is because of one reason. We don't want to see multiple trains going to this station.
We've seen one with SNR.
As we all understand, SNR had the big station. Ours does not have a big station. Why won't I make this station larger? Because it makes sense to be a smaller station rather than a large station. Like, yes, it's placed directly on the main line, right? But that's because we're trying to set up a bunch of... Alright, we'll pause on your conversation for now. Any other questions while we're at this? While he's on AFK? Endless sit down. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Alright, any other questions we have so far?
Not a question, but a statement. I gotta go, so before I go...
Oh, God damn it.
Okay, I'll see you guys later.
See ya.
Like nothing ever happened. Yeah. What else do I need to get done here? I'm trying to think who else. Okay, let me go through this. Next thing we have to figure out, because there's another thing. I've also started redoing every single Discord chat, which is very obvious. I'm trying to clean up and get this thing already cleaned up. It's going to take a bit to get everything resorted, as we have a lot going on in the Discord. I've got to get that all set up. The last thing I'm going to talk about right now... Maybe. I don't know. You're going to discuss with... you're going to discuss with the other moderators in that part, because I'm really confused on that. Yes, Fritz?
What did I miss?
A lot?
Let me guess.
I'm still recording.
Meeting.
We just talked about, we're still having a very big talk right now. We're talking about Oliver's train schedules. Bye for just out the window. So here's the best news you'll ever hear. Ready to hear how much money we have now set into the system? We now have enough to have 2 months for the new server.
Yay.
So we're not making the switch yet. Now, like, this is the good news. We actually now have the money. We've made about $58 in the Patreon. That's enough to last 2 months for the actual system. Endless. So with those 2
Then
months
we-
now, huh? What was that, Fritz? Okay. Well, the months have been put in. We haven't actually put anything in there yet. Oh, okay. New schedule. So it goes to NWR, Valdisburg, SMSP, PSSR, Sodor,
Like, that's the spawn.
AR, MXR, Ellsbridge. Okay,
Okay,
here's the
fair
thing
enough.
is,
What? No, we can't. No, that's not. That station's still not finished,
there are a few stations that we're trying not to send anyone to.
apart from you.
Wait, okay, slight question, Diamond. Are you trying to send your engines to every station?
That's
Because here's what
yeah.
we're trying to do is, a bunch of us are redoing the schedules, so you actually have to you have to hop on one train,
trains.
and then hop onto the next train. It's a weird thing we're trying to set up, but it's because a lot of train schedules are changing. Because right now, I'm still changing the ones. You want to... Okay. I understand we want to see a lot of locomotives get around. We want to see people to be able to get from, hey, we want to go to this station to this station. But I want to be able to use everyone's locomotives. Because I do not want to have an SNR situation where you've got about 40 trains going to Yorkston.
That's a fair point.
We all remember how bad Yorkston was in SNR. You had about 4... Why?
Why are people blowing up?
No, do not kill him. It's really good I didn't die. No, I'm not endless! Everyone sit down.
Was just checking your health.
Yeah, I have hunger back
Hey,
back
can
on.
we stop? Can we
Everyone sit the hell down.
I'm stuck.
No one kill each other. Jesus Christ.
Alright. That fucking one.
Okay, sit down. Everyone sit down. Did Nicholas die too?
Yeah, he did ITP him though.
How the Everyone sit the... Okay, give me a second. Sit. Sit.
Both of you sit, everyone sit down, or you're all getting your inventories cleared.
Oh, Jesus.
That's a good throw.
Endless, sit
I
down.
like
I was trying to tell you to sit down, but you wouldn't listen.
Everyone sit down and calm down, or all of your inventories get reset.
Well, maybe it's because you hit them once.
You done? Good.
Let me get back in the meeting room. But don't start this.
I don't fucking care who hit you first.
Okay, can someone bring back Nicholas too? Cause
Did he die again?
yes, he got killed again.
Done.
He's downstairs. Okay, sit down. Everyone, sit down. Okay, let's get this meeting again. Back and start. We want to be able to see we don't want to see about 40 engines going to one station. Let's say this. You got 40, I would see this. The big 6 stations, which I've actually listed them for everybody on the spreadsheet, on what stations can hold most traffic. Cerulean Grand Central, Ellsbridge Central, Flinders Street, New Doncaster, Royal Moxon Central, and Valladesburg. These stations are going to be the big 6. They control all traffic and are able to handle the traffic, right? They can handle having about 17 or 50 locomotives coming in. That's their entire ideal. They're meant to hold traffic. But we don't want to see everyone's trains. Yeah, I understand. Royal Moxon Central. And
Yeah,
Aussie
you
Rail
get to me,
also
that's
is
fine.
Flinders Street. Now, the problem about that station, though, is it's still under construction. Yes, it's the big
It's
6.
a big delay.
There's a bunch of trains that are still in work on, or stations that are still in here. New Doncaster, Cerulean Grand Central, Flinders Street are the 3 stations that are still under construction. Good. We understand. We wait till those 3 big stations are finished in their construction. Flinders Street's on hold at the moment because both Uwu Rail and pretty much Uwu and
The
Armageddon
entire
are.
Aussie Rail is just.
They've been on breaks constantly, but they're working on the station as fast as they can. It's just because they don't have the dimensions to their own station. I don't know.
Did we talk about the scrapyard?
Yes, we did.
Can I hear what was talked about?
Yes, thank you, because I may have forgot to turn on or undeafen myself during the video. For like half this video. So, let me get back to the scrapyard. The scrapyard, let me go and load that up right now. Scrapyard is a place where people can store in locomotives. So let's say this. If you leave a locomotive on the main line or any track that has handling traffic, right? Your locomotive, or if you've just left the server entirely for over a month, your train will be brought over to the scrapyard. The engine will be left at the scrapyard for another month. If you don't show up and you don't want to take the engine back, it will be brought to an auction. The first one means, hey, we're going to try getting the engine sorted. The second one is, if no one wants it, then we do another auction 2 or 1 week later. After that auction, if no one ever wants it, we completely weather the engine. We take its bogies, and before we actually start taking the bogies and we're starting to weather, we bring it to the smelter's yard. Either the one that's at Yorkston or the one that's over at Elsbridge Harbor that Frizz is still building. That is where the locomotives will be brought to take their bogies off. You will have the choice before the bogies are full on ripped off. Would you like to buy the engine before everything's done to it? If no one wants it, the engine will be completely weathered and we put into any scrapyard or smelter's yard. And it will sit in there as just an old engine with no glue, no controls, no bogies. The bogies, the controls, and the glue will be brought back into the community, meaning you can go to the scrapyard and pick up those parts. If that makes sense.
Sorry, there were some blocks missing. And yes, that does make sense.
Good. And then if you ever want to restore it, you can. You just have to pay again. Like the same thing from the first 2 auctions. And if you don't think, we'll set a price on it for maybe 10 diamonds for each locomotive, or maybe even 3 or 2 or 5, right? Depending on the engine's massive resources that we all know of, right? Yeah, it depends on the locomotive. Particularly when it's an engine that's so long, it's as long as the Scotsman with 10 coaches. I'm being specific because there is one at the scrapyard right now that is that big.
I will say, I have a question.
Yellow.
What happens if people abandon their aircraft? I would say they are brought to the scrapyard as well.
Yeah, anything that's left behind. So if you leave your boats, you leave your planes, leave your cars, they will be brought to the scrapyard and ripped to their bogies. As they still have bogies. And what we discovered recently is during testing using a test world of mine that I run, right, as a bunch of locomotives I have and I store them there, we discovered that bogies and glue are what cause lag.
Yeah. Especially on engines that just sit disassembled.
Hence the haven't seen it yet. Or is that the plane? Probably gonna say about 5 diamonds to start off as a simple price, and then however people would like to scrap it, and the price would go higher and higher and higher. The amount of you guys bet off.
Yeah, the price is high, but this is... Oh.
Well, it is brand new though. You gotta remember there's a used cost too.
I will say scrapyard prices and smelter's yard prices will be dependent on both the engine itself and how much the smelter is willing to bargain for it. Because by all means, by all means, scrapyard, you can, that is the one place technically you can buy it from. Once it's at the smelter's yard, you can still have a chance at buying it if you show up fast enough and the engine hasn't been demolished, but the choice by the smelter themselves. And I don't know if I wouldn't recommend buying it from them, or at least not waiting to buy it from them,
Because they may
because that's
disagree and
when,
just still do the process of scrapping it.
yeah, there's also the issue where smelters can ramp up the price.
Exactly. Because they now see there's value. If you see a person run to get the engine last minute, it means they're willing to wait. So they'd rank up the prices higher. Another thing.
Another question.
Yes?
If someone doesn't, if an owner of an engine says that they don't want it, does that engine immediately go into auction?
Yes. If someone does not want the engine, they will we'll have a talk about it and go straight into auction if they don't want the engine.
Okay, thank you.
Any agreement will be made, and we would decide on a date. The engine would then be auctioned. Any company can go for it. You can either put it in a museum, restore the locomotive. You can do whatever you want with the locomotive afterwards. As I'm hearing a lot of you recently, when I was hearing in a one call. Yes, you can talk. No, not yet. Oh, with airplanes. What about airplanes you want to discuss about, so I can get this cleared up? You wouldn't have to signal it if it's just no auto planes. If nothing's autoed, no, you don't need signals.
The only signals that I can see being placed are at the runways themselves.
Yeah, that
And
tells
that makes
people,
sense
hey, is
anyway.
there a train on the track I need to be worried about? Or plane.
What would be weird?
To have a signal just before it? Think of it like a giant air, like a.
Um, then we may. Oh, I had a bright idea. That makes it actually quite a lot better. We have the entirety of the route chain signaled, so multiple planes can be in the air. Hello. Maybe. I don't. I haven't messed around with the concept of it. One of them is stopping me. No, it would not, because train signals check for the signal after the one in front of them. So they would continue to go on until there's something in front of the signal. Signals at all. Well, if you have multiple planes, then if we have multiple planes, that could become an issue, because then there's nothing stopping the planes from crashing into each other. No. I say, we maybe have, I don't know, it's, I'll have to mess with myself, because I haven't dealt with anything plane related before, so, we can possibly test that out in the future. Yeah. Yep. What's your question, soldier? No one
I'm
did.
asking.
Dibs not. I'll make my own runway, but yeah, that's about it.
All right, I'm back.
Okay, okay. No, he's
I
back.
just came back. Like I just had to go mute for a few seconds. Um, so how much did I miss? Because it seems like I missed a lot. I noticed my crochet was on fire.
You missed the whole thing about airplanes.
I can tell.
Also, Diamond's asking if anyone's building any air infrastructure.
No, I've
like-
not got any plans for an air infrastructure at Ellsbridge at all. I'm thinking of building one, but it's really impossible to build. And I think Fritz can guess a helicopter. Harold the helicopter, and I know it's impossible.
Yeah.
I know. I really want to Harold the helicopter.
Also, this is an unrelated thing, but I
Yep.
finished watching Unlucky Tug's RWS video. Oh my god. Why is there so much lore? This... Why did this 70-year-old revenant come up with, like, the biggest fucking lore for talking trains?
It's a train guy. Don't worry about it. Now, we're really excited because we do have a server plan that is now been set to put that is fully ready to go. Railway museums, not really museums. Signals are almost done. I think we can all clarify that. There's a few left. We still need to get the. I think we still need to get the south completely finished. The central main line is still not finished. Particularly Demon's line still not signaled, like the whole thing. Which is confusing because locomotives were moving. It never was signaled. So, don't know how that worked.
Awesome.
Reminds me, when you're building your things, we actually want to see a few mini stations around. So if you guys could, when you're building stuff, have some small mini stations around. That way it's like they actually work as a way of, hey, you can hop off on this train, wait for a bit, and another locomotive can come on.
Okay.
That's fair. We just want to see a few others along the main line. For example, the new community station for the Heritage Railway is a bypass track that allows you to hop on a train, then hop off the next. Other places I see these coming along are along the other places I see this entire railway network working is we have it along the SBR line, we have some along the central main line, particularly down Demon's main line, right?
Yeah.
Once you get
Also,
all these sorted.
You good?
You okay? Good to know.
I will be right back.
Yeah, with mini stations, we want to be able to see a lot of small little stations that are around and just help reorganize stuff around. This is also a detail you can, but there's a painful part to it. You can add ballast to the railways if you want. There's just one catch. We've discovered there are no settings to destroy signals. So, soon, and this is like the last thing I'm saying right now, if you try to drill and you're using rollers to build your entire pavement around to ballast, it will break the signals. So that's a fun detail I forgot to mention. Yeah, you'd have to replace the signals and know that if they are brassed or not. That reminds me of one more thing, finally. Please build some builds over here at spawn. It's very empty. I'm planning to build an armor's part here too. All of you, yes. As Community Island is one of the quietest little things. Guess you can build an airport, maybe on the north side of the island. So that way it makes more sense. I'm gonna build an armor's building, right? That's fine. I think if someone could, make a phantom track farm. That'd be an interesting one to have. But to sum it all up, we hope to see you all use the farms and the spreadsheet. We hope to see you plan out things. Yes, phantom track farm. We want to be able to see people use the spreadsheet, and for that, we wanted to be able to see every single part of how we're playing at the timetable and schedule, so we can actually plan out things for planes, yes, or anything else. We're hoping to see you all use the spreadsheet. We're hoping to see you use the timetables. We're hoping just to see every single part of the entire system we're developing. And if any other questions are needed to be asked, or if you just need help in general, use the help forum. That's the best way you can get information to us moderators. We don't know stuff, okay? We don't know how your players want to be actually be treated or how you want things to be changed. Use the help forum, and we will answer those questions. It may take some time, but it's a much faster solution than normal. I hope everybody enjoyed the meeting too. Meeting adjourned.
Awesome.
I'm
Can
asking,
I put this
can
somewhere,
anyone build
actually?
a star
This feels
station?
weird putting it
I can
here,
pay
but this is
for
the
that.
only
If
spot.
anybody built it.
I'm going to go different for a second, so I'm going to start talking about more of the meeting. Hello, so I'm a turtle. You all know me. There's a few things we have minor things that need to be fixed. We have to replan everything else. There's a bunch of stuff that needs to be planned out. If we're ever going to have a plan, we're ever going to have a meeting, things need to be resorted, they need to be rethought of. How to rethink them? We have to replan things and do them. Schedules need to be redone. I need to do some replanning with that. It's going to take some time to get a lot of stuff done. Let me mute Discord for a second. If you're going to use things, just try using the Discord. If you missed anything because half the meeting was deafened, I'm sorry. That will be sorted. Just try using the spreadsheet. Try to get things sorted. Rethink and plan things. That will take some time. It will take some reorganization. And I hope to see you all in the next meeting. Have a good one.